Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a game from the IPL5 Korean Qualifiers. This is game 1 of a best of 3. It is between Incredible Miracles IMNesTea and Incredible Miracles Ready. Ready is the red Protoss player in the lower left position, and IMNesTea is in the top position as the blue Zerg. I keep wanting to say green Zerg, I don't know what's up with me. Who knows? But anyway, the map is Atlantis Spaceship, which is not a ladder map. Obviously it's from IPL and it's pretty cool. It's quite unique. I mean, the key real features is natural base is relatively easy to defend. I mean, from a glance that's a relatively similar wall off to Daybreak in terms of size. Then you have the third base. Now this is where things get a bit more creative. You do have a third base down here, which is very standard, but the wall off's not too bad. Again, very similar to Daybreak. But you also have this sort of middle base, and those who are more observant will of course see this, a rich Vespian geyser, and a third one at a base. So this is a gas heavy base, but of course means that you do have the risk of units coming up the back of your natural, which is why IMNesTea may have a bit, he'll have to leave his units here. Alternatively, we could see Ready just wall off, just stray across here, which is a very good strategy, can be done easily with gateways. The other things, well, not too much else to really note. Everything else is pretty normal. And well, it'll be interesting to see what players do. IMNesTea, he went for a 14 pull, which is very normal. It is a perfect timing. The reason you don't hatch first against Protoss is if they have fast expanded, and specifically a forge fast expand, you could have a pylon here and cannons here, and that makes you sad face. But we do have a Nexus first out of Ready, so this is the optimum in terms of economy. You can't get any better than that in terms of an economical opening. So IMNesTea now it has two choices. Choice 1 is to put on pressure and try and knock out that base. Choice 2, of course, is to take a third quickly. And judging by the fact that he's taken this base right in the center, I imagine it is going to be the quick third option, because he's taken this because ultimately this probe would have blocked a natural attempt, delaying him vital seconds. And by getting the third first, well, he's got access to this rich Vespian geyser as well earlier. And ultimately, it just means that he's in a good spot. You can take that. Then at around the 4 minutes 20 mark, we will see IMNesTea take this base. This probe came up to check because one of the other Korean qualifier games, we did see that the Zerg player against Protoss went for a 1 base lair. Now, you may be wondering what that's for. It's basically use the Overlord here, or actually back more. You plant it here, spread creep from lair. Generate creep is obviously a lair upgrade for the Overlords, which is automated. You then bring some drones and speedlings and build spine crawlers and laugh as the Protoss player doesn't quite know what to do. But this probe coming down here is almost checking for the third base, but of course it's in the center. I don't know if that's even been seen, but we do have Zerglings running around. This Zergling almost missed the probe, but is going to come back and pick it off. So we are going to see a dead probe very shortly. Meanwhile, we've got the first gas on its way out here for IMNesTea. We do have the probe trying to run its way around, the Queen going over. I don't know if that was spotted, but that'd be a really big tell of where the bases were. The gateway on its way out. We do have the Nexus getting chrono boosted. The first 2 gas only just coming down for Ready now. Now really shows you just how economically focused this build was. The gas is really late. It's just all about getting the bases up, getting the gateway and the forge up, and we'll probably see an upgrade early-ish if we're going to see a lot of gateway pressure. Obviously the other options are Stargates or a 2 base immortal push, which can be really good. 2 immortals, quite a few gateway units backing it up. Sentry immortal is very popular, just because the force fields just help it deal with Zerglings, which are really the only threat to the immortals. So anyway, we do have the third base about to pop, so to speak, for IMNesTea. There we go, the Queen's already there. IMNesTea favouring 2 queens at the moment. A third one is in production. That'll be a queen per base. As anyone who frequently views my casts know, I do prefer getting a creep spread queen solely. You don't miss any injects then, you have better defense, and you also have the creep spread, which is fantastic. Sometimes even 2 is good. Getting 4 queens off of 2 bases can be really effective in terms of creep spread. Um, Again, the watchtowers, they're just being contested over the Zealot, just running around, the Zerglings running around, everyone running, because why not? That's all you can really do at this stage of the game, is run lots, because both players are focused on their economy. I mean, this cybernetics core is only a quarter of the way through Warpgate Tech, and actually this robotics facility is coming out now. We do have that +1, so I must say, because there's 4 gas out, I really feel like we're going to see possibly that 2 Immortal push is an option. There's also War Prism play, which is a possibility, less likely I feel, or just a more standard 5-gate robo build, which, again, perfectly plausible. But the sentries are coming out, we've got just drones and drones and drones, a couple of Zerglings and drones coming out of IMNesTea, which is really, really normal. We're used to that. Currently Ready is ahead, that's because he went for a Nexus first build, all his chrono boosts went on the Nexus, but now the third base, which is essentially this, but we'll call it this base just for simplicity, now the third base is up and running. The extra production, the extra injects mean that very, very quickly IMNesTea will get ahead in terms of that work account, and as a result the income. And really then it's up to Ready if he wants to go and push, or if he wants to try and take a third. Obviously a Protoss play on 3 bases is very, very effective, but 4 gates up now. We did have an observer come out. What's going to follow up? Another observer, so that's quite interesting. That Overlord will get taken out because this was giving IMNesTea all the information that he needed. More Zerglings are on their way. A Spire is also on his way out now for IMNesTea. That is quite an interesting choice. Spine Crawler is coming down as well. The Spire in a good spot actually. It's not too vulnerable. Probably gonna just be defended quite thoroughly. An Immortal is now on its way out, and well, got these sentries pushing forward a bit. This pylon says, I'm taking this base. That is basically the pylon's there first, just so you can get warp ins if the Nexus is started. But you have the Zerglings running around currently, not doing too much. You will see 4 drones mining from this rich Vespian geyser. Just because it's further away, you need 4 drones to mine it optimally, essentially. So, learn something new every day. I had this question the last time I cast this map. I was like, does it take 4? And well, I assume it does because all the pros are doing it. Anyway, we've got the Templar Archives on its way. Templar Archive, our Twilight Council on its way out. You have 4 ready. He's now moving across the map with that 1 Immortal. He's probably going to just secure this third base without trying to put on too much pressure. The Zerglings are poking him, but the fact this army's here does also suggest that a third base is on its way from Ready. And as I did say, 3-base Protoss is so potent. There's really nothing they can't get. More gateways are on their way out. We'll probably see a robotics base. Surely the Mutalisks are coming though. And now that's going to be a bit annoying for Ready, because you're stuck in a position once Mutas are out where, on the one hand, you can stay back and try and defend them, but unless you've got a high Stalker number or Phoenix or something like that, you're going to struggle. Or Archons, of course. But if you just go and kill the Zerg, well, if the Mutas come back, they're awful in head-on engagements, really, and you can do a lot of damage. And if the Mutas don't come back, well, you can kill them before they kill you. Just as we will see Ready doing here. He is literally just killing this third base, and that is going to cause huge problems. Even if Ready were to lose this army now, I would say this is very, very cost effective, and IMNesTea could be in trouble because ultimately his income is going to be so stunted. He's on equal bases. Lovely Zergling movement though. This Zergling counterattack could be potent. This third base could equally get taken out, but not if this Protoss army does get in the way first. Blink is half done, so we're not going to see no forward offensive blinks. We do have the Zerglings just running straight for the, well, what's going to be for the natural. We're going to go and check the third. We may see IMNesTea pull back actually to go and take that out, so he doesn't have to engage the cannon, but of course all the Protoss army has now returned. The Mutalisks are the threat, or they're going to be the threat, because, well, +1's about to finish for the Muta air attack, and their numbers are getting actually pretty high. Obviously, these units do have to stay back to defend, and, well, we do have the Stalkers and Sentries are getting higher in number, but so are the Mutas. A lot of Mutas on the field. I mean, as a brief look, 22, 5 more on the way. That's up to 27. Which is no small amount, especially that +1, because there is the +1 armor upgrade, but still these Mutas are going to be absolutely shockingly effective. This little Zergling force ready for a counter-attack if we did see Ready move out, and obviously IMNesTea trying to retake his third. I'd love to see IMNesTea try and take this fourth as well. I think he's got the map dominance just by the Muta threat. It's forcing Ready to stay back to defend, and if he were to go for a fourth base, it would allow him to catch up economically, because obviously he's been behind being on equal bases after that third was taken out. The +2 flyer attack is on its way as well for IMNesTea. That's a more uncommon thing to see got up, but, well, there's quite a few Zerglings just getting picked off here. It was a nice attempt at a counter-attack, but not too much. The Mutalisks are just floating around. I don't think much has been done. There's cannons absolutely everywhere at the moment. A lot of photon cannons will probably come down to the third just to help defend that. But this natural base, which is a bit vulnerable because of this dead space, absolutely ideally defended. Well, there's a lot of dead space actually all around the map, but there's a small little route in there. Probably see some cannons come up this edge as well, just to try and help defend. Most of Ready's army though is basically defending the third base, which is where the money is. IMNesTea now just starting that fourth. He is again though on equal bases. The only advantage is the work count 90 to 65. IMNesTea 90 drones is probably a few too many, so build some spine crawlers because they're great for defense. Just build some. They're basically free at this stage in the game because you have so many minerals. So just knock them down and you'll be happy. Still, the one issue I see on Ready's side is these Temple Archives, they're only just down. He can get Archons and obviously Storm, but he's going to have trouble. The Archons are going to be the optimum thing to deal with because the Mute numbers are getting so high, but just look how effective these Mutes clean up Stalkers. It's absolutely crazy. It's a head-on engagement is the best thing. The little movements that IMNesTea's making is just trying to get the Stalkers to engage different Mutalisks so the flock number stays as high as possible. We do have a what's this, 5th base out of IMNesTea now, so this is pretty good, and this is exactly what he needs to do, build a spine wall. This basically means that now IMNesTea, rather than having to defend this passage of attack, can focus much more on defending the lower part of the map, because the top, that's going to take care of itself. No force can walk through here, which will allow IMNesTea to get back to defense. Obviously, if there's some more prisms out or anything like that, that could be a threat to IMNesTea, because if it was to see drops, that could be a bit of a threat. So could DTs, because it means the Zerg army will be running around. Storm is on its way out currently, but the Muters, just 32 Muters out now, more on the way. The +2 air attack is about to finish up. And well, this just isn't going to be fun. I mean, there's quite a few Stalkers at the third, but this little Zealot force, that's going to get cleaned up so quickly, it's insane. And really, I reckon it's the main base that's going to cause some problems. There's more gateways being added on. That's an absolutely sick amount of gateways, and to be honest, this game is just looking like it's going to keep on going. The infestation pick coming, that basically says, I want to go to Broods. Broodlord Infestor, he's already got the spine component of that build as well, so that is really, really nice. But here comes this War Prism, which is, as I said, that's going to be the threat to the Zerg army, but a good lot of Zerglings get in, but some amazing Storms come down, really saving the lives of quite a lot of these units because so many Zerglings taken out. One High Templar does go down though, and everything else has been cleaned up and an Archon gets morphed in, so it's not too bad. These Mutants now have to be really careful because if they clump up around the Archon, Archon's still massive air splash, so you don't want to get hit by an Archon with stacked up Mutalist. Pathogen Gland's on its way, Hive on the way, everything is fine, but where is this War Prism? That's what I really want to know. Here it goes. So this War Prism going to be very, very effective. In come all of these Mutalisks. They're coming and trying to get... They didn't actually get anything, I don't think. I mean, in terms of workers killed, only one worker killed for each player. That is pretty damn sick. And just look at the spines. This is basically just an impossible attack path right now for Ready because he doesn't have Colossi, which means he doesn't have anything which outranges Spine Crawlers, which means if he does try to just push into it, Ready's just going to take so much damage. It would be crazy, and that's exactly really what IMNesTea looks like he's trying to do. The Archons aren't there, but of course Storm is a big threat as well to your Muters, and well, just so many Spine Crawlers. It's absolutely sick. I don't even, well, 1622? Yeah, roughly. My maths just stopped working. I've been up for like 18 hours again. It's really bad. But anyway, so we do just have these Stalkers. They're running around, but there's so many changelings in there. Just keeping an exact eye on what could be happening. Meanwhile, just a massive long wave of Stalkers. We do have the Mutants coming, but that's a good little storm. They did get quite a few Mutants there, and of course the splash damage is what causes the problem, because Mutants don't have that much health. They rely on us being able to kill stuff fast, but the War Prism, that's going to go down. I don't actually think anything was warped in yet, so that is a big loss. Adrenal Glands is on the way. The second Spire coming up, but Great Spire not started yet, which I find quite interesting, but there we go. Literally as I say it, IMNesTea obliges. And well, the second Spire's double air upgrades will be coming out. We do have the Baneling Nest coming out as well. Adrenal Glands, the 2-2 melee upgrades. And these Mutants are now in a good spot. There's not enough Stalkers there to really deal with that many, but it does actually look like IMNesTea is going to choose to pull back because he's seen that units aren't there, but Storms are what the big threat is. That Archon could be a problem as well. Needs to magic block very, very carefully, although he could lose a lot of units. I mean, in resources lost, IMNesTea is about 2,300 more resources lost, which at the 20-minute mark isn't really huge. It is significant, but not massive. More spines coming down by IMNesTea, who of course is still just floating around just under 70 workers. Could do with a few more now. This 5th base has been completely destroyed by a small little force from Ready, and well, Reddy's actually got the supply advantage at the moment. He's getting a starport. That starport is to get a fleet beacon, and the fleet beacon is to get the mothership, because broodlords are on the way, and the only way to beat broodlord infestor is with some good vortex, essentially. But obviously Reddy doesn't want to push that far, and this force is really just going for it. There's not many spines down here. The muters and zerglings are trying to get some nice rounds. They do manage it, but of course this force is very, very weak to storms, and basically means that IMNesTea's base is completely undefended. And well, some good blinks are going down, more stalkers coming in, and this is going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile though, the 4th base of IMNesTea is going down, and there is nothing you can do about it. All the spines down, off, and well, while there are a lot of infestors, they need to fungal growth by these spines or they're not going to be able to do anything. Now the 4th base is down. That basically means IMNesTea is a base down, because the 4th base is up for Ready. He's ready to transfer probes should he need to. I mean, his main base pretty much mined out, his natural's getting low. That's compared to, of course, IMNesTea, who is mined out at his main, is getting low at his natural, even getting low at his 3rd, to be honest. And this observer is absolutely great play. May see a blink up. If there was a blink up, that'd just be sick. But really what IMNesTea's doing now is he's got quite a bit banked up gas. He needs to try to get up broodlords. He's got the infestor numbers. The infestor numbers are getting very, very high now. Where exactly they are, I'm not quite sure, but somewhere there are a lot of infestors just chilling around by the 3rd base, so that's cool. The broodlords are what's going to count though. Broodlord infestors so strong. The +3 air attack and the +2 flyer carapace. The 2/2 ground upgrades done as well. The fleet beacon on its way out though for Ready, which means mothership will be incoming, and these muters still just chilling. But the 4th base is up for Ready. He's maxed out as well. And to be honest, this is just going to start getting scary to deal with. A couple more mortals in the mix wouldn't be a bad move, just to deal with these spines, but of course they're very supply heavy, and they're not going to do well. Some great feedbacks though, popping infestors. That is huge money. Absolutely sick money. These 2 High Templar of course have just so much energy, it's sick. But here come the broodlords. Some big fungal growth do manage to go down right now, and this is going to be pretty close. IMNesTea's going to have to try and be effective, but so many of these infestors just getting feedback on them, and so crazy good. Absolutely beautiful play. I mean, there's only one infestor with energy left now. Ready has really annihilated that force. You can get some big warp-ins. I don't even want to hazard a guess as to how many warp gates there are across this map, but it's absolutely crazy, which means huge resupplies. The +3 ground armor on its way. Of course, +3 ground weapons already done for Ready. IMNesTea, he's on 2/1 air upgrades, about to be 3/2, and I believe it's 2/2 ground upgrades, but can't see anything to check that on. This stalker number getting stupidly high though. 48 stalkers, 3 High Templar. That is a lot of damage output potential. A lot of these spines have already been killed. They are spreading all the way out as well. By spreading them thinly, it covers a large area, but if the entire ball of the Protoss force pushes in, it can be a problem. These infestors still pretty damn low on energy. I mean, 45, 40, 40, 40-ish across the board, apart from one. The mothership is coming out, and we may see Ready wait for this push until the mothership's there. Alternatively, you may just feel confident, but more broods are coming out, and as that broodlord number gets higher and higher, it's going to cause more and more problems, because eventually it gets to a point where it only takes a couple of fungal growth to stop the stalkers blinking underneath, and then the damage output from just the mass broodlings and broodlords is just too much to deal with. The only saving grace for Ready though is he has this 4th base, and if we look at the bank of both these players, it really demonstrates. It's 100 minerals to nearly 1,000 gas to nearly 3,000 gas. Ready simply can't spend all of his money. IMNesTea can't get enough money, and that is what the end game comes down to, is how many expansions can you take and how many expansions of your opponent can you prevent. But a lot of these spines now moving down. The reason they're moving is essentially because this is now the mining important base. This base, if it goes down, it's a loss, but he doesn't have to keep it as long. I mean, some of these mineral patches are already down to 200 minerals, which won't last long in the slightest. The natural base completely mined out. That's compared to, of course, Ready, who has 2 very comfortable mining bases. I mean, the lowest there is about 400, 300, but 2 mining bases to what's 1 and a bit can really swing in Ready's favour. A lot of Archons joining in the mix now. The mothership is on its way over, and it's all going to come down to a big final engagement. Of course, a 40 supply lead here. If we look at the army, that's even more significant. Well, actually, no, it's slightly less. 35 supply, well, call it 30 supply more for ready there. And that is by itself an awful lot. If a Protoss player has more army supply, they usually end up winning. Just because Protoss units are more effective per supply than Zerg units generally. And well, this is now going to leave NetStea with some problems. What is he going to do? He's got to hold this. The actual infestors aren't in the best spot, and my concern is a big vortex going on somewhere here. That catch an awful lot of those broodlords, and that could be exactly what will happen. There goes a couple, not the most it could be, but some brilliant feedbacks go down. Even more feedbacks. All of the infestors get taken out. That was absolutely amazing by NetStea. By Ready there. NetStea's now got huge problems. He's basically only got a handful of infestors. He won't have enough blinks. And does he even have detection? The Overseer is on its way. But that Archon is getting some massive splash hits off on the Broodlords. And suddenly this is not looking fun for NetStea at all. It's 170 to 120 supply in Ready's favour. And now the Broodlords are gone. This is pretty much GG. The Mothership's still up. There's no Corruptors to deal with that at all. And I just can't see how NetStea can come back from it. But there is the GG and something in Korean, and that was game 1. Flick to my channel for game 2. I'll try and remember to put a link in the tab description below, so do check that out. If not, there'll be a link to the IPL5 Korean Qualifier playlist where the game will be anyway. Please thumbs up the video, that'd be awesome. Subscribe would also be awesome. But if not, leave a comment, and then I'll catch at game 2. 1 second.